And today I want to introduce you to this self journey. Hi, welcome to this amazing space for a new episode with Joy. And together, me, Arianna, and Joy, we will introduce you to an amazing journey of self-discovery about how to create healthy partnership. Such important topic. So here is Arianna Ruffinengo. I'm a visual artist, a painter, and author of comics, and I'm with this amazing guy that is Joy Coyaso, and he's a visual and mindfulness guide. So please, Joy, thank you first of all to be here and together. And if you want to introduce yourself a little bit more.
Yes, Ari, thank you for having me on the show as well. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate our collaboration here. What I want to say is my life journey started in New York City, where I was born and raised, and then that's where technically my healing journey started. From there, I transitioned over to California for 10 years, and I worked at the Apple company, one of the stores in Southern California. And then during COVID, I decided to make a big change for myself and leapfrog over to Europe and Spain, a country I've never been to before. So I quit Apple in exchange to teach English to small children in a primary school in Madrid. And that was such a transformative and fulfilling experience. From there, it led me down to the Canary Islands, which was meant to be a 2-week holiday back in 2021. That's about 4 years ago now. I just stayed, never left. And in these last few years, I've just delved into a lot of inner work with myself to improve the relationship with my partner. Because in the beginning, it was a bit rocky, but now it is more smooth sailing. We have our days, but it's more with an intention to have an awareness within this partnership. So I'm looking forward to exploring more about this during our episode.
Yeah, that's amazing, Joy. I appreciate so much the opportunity to have this space, and even you that you are watching this video, I invite you to watch it with your partner and all your beloved ones, because it's an immense opportunity to grow together, to listen to some inspiration that we hope to give to you through our story, our interaction. So this is exactly a journey in different episodes in which me and Joy, we will dive into different aspects, how to create a healthy partnership. Why we are talking about healthy partnership? Because we think together that it's such an important topic. We every day have a connection with our partner, and sometimes we don't have all the knowledge on all the important information to grow in a healthy situation with our partner and how to create it. We are not really educated sometimes in school, isn't it, Joy? We don't have a specific education how to create a good relationship, even with ourselves. Don't imagine about how to create this healthy relationship with a partner. So that's our desire, to go to this journey together in different episodes, to face different challenges that we have when we have a relationship and partnership, and see what in which way we can overcome that from our experience. And of course, you can comment in whatever in every moment your inspiration and your ideas. Okay, Joe. So thank you so much for an introduction. And I ask you, why for you is important to dedicate time and to dive deeper into this topic of how to create a healthy partnership.
Yeah, I would say it's very important because, I mean, through partnership, we can grow in ways that we can never have grown on our own. And there's only so much personal development we can do with ourselves. But now, when you do that personal development alongside a partnership, then a lot of growth can spurt from there. And for me, having a healthy partnership is, I would say, the result of having a lot of unhealthy partnerships, toxic relationships, many, especially with women, family members as well, and friends, but especially with women, and just going jumping from one relationship to the next, thinking that the new person is going to give me something that the previous partner didn't give me. So looking for this sense of security within other people, this
Mm,
sense of worthiness within other people, this sense
mhm.
of love within other people, and searching
Yeah,
for that and never being completely satisfied, always finding faults, judgments in the partners in those toxic relationships. And eventually we'll talk something about attachment styles and being an anxious
yeah.
avoidant. And I've experienced both sides of it. And I just got to a point where I'm like, I'm tired. I'm tired of jumping from one relationship to another. And why am I doing this? it's happening on such a subconscious level that I'm not really aware of these things. This is why I studied hypnotherapy a couple of years ago and actually experienced hypnotherapy to go to these root causes. And I
Yeah.
want it with my partner that I have today, and we're married, and it's been a wonderful journey, is to find ways to connect on a more intimate and a more spiritual level together so that I can grow and we can grow within our partnership. And I find it's very important to want to level up our spiritual game, level up our consciousness in general, because we came here to just be pure love. And along the lines, we learned how to fear
Yeah,
through
yeah,
caregivers, parents, schooling, and now it's a matter of going back and remembering what it was like when we came to this planet. Just
yeah,
pure love, this baby in this world, and
yeah.
so it's about remembering as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Such important thing to remember that. And I have a question. So this is so interesting. Also making question to expand what you said. Um, I just wonder what was the moment in which you understand you was having toxic relationship and you was not satisfied, and what was the trigger and how you decide to change? Because you talk about spiritual journey with the partner, but before I imagine there was other things that drive you to step in a relationship. So what was in a partnership? So what was this event that make you feel that you want something different? Especially talking about woman and man is not very common to listen to this. To this opening to the emotions, to the intimacy from a man, say, "Oh my gosh, I want to go deeper. I want to really embrace this spiritual journey." So it's quite not so common, if I can say. So I really wonder what was this journey of Joe to arrive to this point.
Yeah, great question, Ari. I appreciate the question. Their journey happened about 5 months into my partnership. And what happened was I was unfaithful in our partnership. And I went to another woman to get the attention that I wanted to get. I felt constrained. I felt restricted, sort of like feeling like in a cage, like how I did when I worked at Apple and other toxic relationships. And
Mm,
this caged up feeling got me like in this spiraling emotional roller coaster. And I didn't know what to do with my emotions back then. I didn't know how to interpret or understand them. And
mm,
well, what I did know, what I had done in the past was lean into somebody else for a distraction, for this quick fix, like a drug in a way. And
mm-hmm,
because of that being unfaithful, and then my partner did find out about that as well, and seeing the pain that I put her through. Now, this is something I've done in previous relationships before. I don't know if those relationships, if they ever found out about me being unfaithful. And the culture I grew up in, now I'm just going to generalize the culture of the United States. This is not, doesn't apply to everybody in the United States, but the culture and the friends I grew up around was that when you have multiple partners, it's like a high five. It's like awesome, guys can, go to one girl to another, and it's like, getting as many numbers on notched on your belt or as many holes notched on your belt. So for me, it was already a program within me growing up from an early age, getting feeling accepted by other boys growing up in school and then men eventually. So it was something that was automatic for me. I didn't think anything about it. And then when my partner found out and I saw the pain that she went through, it made something click within me. It
mm,
it made me, I would say it was probably the beginning of another awakening. Now, I've had several layers of awakening throughout my life when it comes to going into the more spirituality within myself or connecting with that and seeing the pain that she went through. And I caused that. I, as a human being, caused another human being to suffer. And I was like, why do I do this? Why do I have I done this in the past? Why do I continue doing this to this day? And a few months after that, hypnotherapy came into my lap and it came into my
mm,
life. And I was like, oh, interesting timing that this is all
mm,
happening. I spoke
mhm,
with my partner about it. She thought it was a fantastic idea to go through it and do this deep work. I've had talk therapy back in 2018 when I was working at Apple, and I went on a medical leave for 3 months to work on myself. I also
mm,
hired a life coach, Ashley Waugh. She's amazing. I love
mm,
her to death. And then that work was great. It touched upon the surface levels of my psyche. It didn't get to the
Mm,
root cause though until I went to the hypnotherapy. And in the hypnotherapy, I started learning why it is I was doing the things I was doing to create more
mm,
awareness. And we all know that awareness is key to create
mhm.
everlasting change. Not going to be easy if it's something that you've been doing for a long period of time, but if you put effort into it and you're dedicated to the process, then the growth will come from there.
Yeah, so it was a movement of your heart. So you feel kind of empathy for your girlfriend,
Yeah.
and you decide to really change some pattern. And probably before you didn't feel this kind of empathy. So you didn't probably have, maybe you was not with the same in the same place of maturity to feel the pain of another person, of another girlfriend, or maybe there was not this information for her available. So that was the trigger in a way, somehow, to
Yeah.
make a step. And so it's very interesting when we talk about healthy partnership. There is something that you talk now, that is the kind of program that we have inside that we don't know, because it is an unconscious level that is acting. So that's what we can share also with the person who is listening to us now, that it's possible that when we have this program active in ourselves that we don't know and are acting in unconscious way, and probably we take them when we were a child, they contain causes in us kind of reactive behaviors, and we are not aware about the consequences that these reactive behaviors causes in our when we connect with another human being. So it's very interesting that you use the tool of hypnotherapy to really change this pattern. So how this tool it really act in that, in which way it changed? So how was the change and the shift?
Yeah. No, well, even before that change and shift occurred, the fact that my partner, she agreed to want to continue being with me after discovering was incredible to me. I thought I was going to have to move out, find a place to live, maybe go back to the States because we met in the Canary Islands and this is where we still live. So the mere fact that she was willing to give me another chance, because in her experience, she's gone through this before as well. So she wanted to also break her own patterns of attracting men like myself. And I wanted to break my patterns of attracting women that I feel like I need to go somewhere else to get attention. So it was
Mm,
a
yeah,
mutual between wanting to pivot, shift, break our internal systems within ourselves. So it
yeah,
wasn't just one-sided, which was kind of
yeah,
beautiful to see it unfold.
yeah.
The hypnotherapy allowed me to work with anger. I didn't realize you would ask me a year before hypnotherapy if I was an angry person. I'd be like, no way, I'm a jolly-go-lucky guy. I love life, daisies and flowers. But in actuality, there was a lot of anger that was just hidden and trapped inside of me in the deep core of my soul.
Mm,
That pain and that suffering came from growing up with two parents who suffered from alcohol.
mm-hmm,
They had some challenges around alcohol, and
mm-hmm,
dad was the avoidant, mom was the anxious. And mom relied on me to get the affection from my dad because my dad was emotionally unavailable. So there's a thing
mm,
called incest, like a connection where and it's not a physical thing, it's more of an emotional thing.
mm.
And she was trying to get the attention from me from a very early age.
Ah,
So it's
from you.
inappropriate,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, inappropriate emotional tendencies towards her and me.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then also with my dad being the more of the physical one, especially being verbally abusive,
Mm-hmm.
and they were both screaming a lot and arguing a lot. And I'm the only child, and we lived in a small one-bedroom apartment in the Bronx. So I always have to go find a little corner somewhere and just hold myself as tightly as I could until I everything subsided. They calmed down, and I would just cry as hard as I could, but very silently because I didn't want to make any sounds. I didn't want to draw their attention to me, especially my dad, because if he heard me, then
Mm,
his anger would be directed towards me instead of my mom. So I just
mm,
cried very silently, but very hard. And this
mm,
happened on a regular basis. This is what I remember
mm,
a lot from my childhood. So all that frustration, overwhelm, and stress that I developed and felt from a very early age, probably an age where it's too soon to be feeling these things, I didn't know how to express them. No one
mm,
came to me afterwards. I didn't have any siblings. Mom and dad didn't come to me to console me and see if I'm okay. So I had to basically parent myself from a very
Mhm.
early age. And I just kept this in me because I didn't know how to express anger. I didn't know what I was even feeling to begin with. I just knew that it felt bad. It didn't feel
Yeah.
good. So I just
Yeah.
kept it inside. And over the years, it just accumulated and accumulated. And I just kept it down there. And because of that trapped energy, that dense trapped energy, that's what had led me to do the things that I was doing in toxic relationships. So
Yeah.
hypnotherapy allowed me to get that anger out, connect with these
Yeah.
childhood memories through childhood regression, connect
Wow.
with it, experience it again, and
Hmm.
then basically use the emotions that I wasn't able to use back then. So with anger, I was allowed to, and I allowed myself, just giving myself that permission to scream out
Interesting.
loud
So
as I
it was
could,
like
scream into a pillow.
a voice liberation. So it was like a blockage that
Yeah.
was also reflected in the expression of your voice. So it was like let this voice, let these sounds came out that was repressed. Because you talk about vibration. Vibration is like a sound. So you just have the opportunity to take off this vibration outside, and you didn't know you had all this. This rage accumulated in you. And first of all, thank you so much for your openness because it's super incredible preciousness. I really appreciate. And I think also the person who's listened to that, I think authenticity is the best gift we can give to others because we learn from other experience too. So thank you so much for open up in this way your art, and I can feel the all you go through in this early age. And so I just have a question. When you say so that was the reason why I act in a toxic way in relationship before in a partnership, because in which way there is this connection. I think it's important for the person who listen to us to really understand that, because even I understand sometimes when we have a toxic relationship, if it happened to you that you're listening, we start to make us wrong. Oh, maybe there is something wrong in myself. While sometimes it's both the parties that are involved in the relationship that have something to heal, and is not casual. I think sometimes we attract certain person is a kind of meant to be because we resonate somehow to invitation to heal and to really mirroring each other some of this vibration that is very deep inside that we don't know they are there. So the question for you is how this rage accumulated that you didn't know that was there impacted you in your partnership and bring you to do some behavior that was causes pain in the other person, in your opinion.
Yeah. So with the trapped energy, that dense rage within me, that was basically covering up some unmet needs and wants when I was a child. So as an
Mm,
adult, the way I acted out was because well, my dad was emotionally unavailable. My mom was the anxious attachment style. So I always looked into or leaned into females because it was looking into a female for that love, that authentic love that I was searching for that I didn't quite get all the time. I didn't say my parents didn't love me. They loved me and they did the best they could, raising me with what they knew from their parents and how they grew up.
mhm,
But I did look for me, love and touch was a way for me to be feel connected to somebody else, to a woman, to feel like I belong, to feel like
mhm,
I'm worthy. So it's all these external validations. And then
mhm,
with females, with hugging them and getting more intimate with them, that led into, oh, like I'm getting attention from this woman. So that must mean that she loves me. That must mean that I'm worthy. And so I want
mhm,
more of this. And that's where when I was in that anxious attachment, always trying to go after it. But I always attracted women when I was the anxious, they were the avoidant. So they acted like my dad. When I gave them too much attention and was seeking so much attention, they would distance themselves from me. And what causes, then I just become, I want more of this now. I'm trying to fight more for their affection. And then I've
mhm,
been the avoidant. So like in my partnership, in my current partnership, I was the avoidant. And then with that, it's like, oh, my partner has given me a lot of affection,
mhm,
healthy affection, right? And but I don't know what to deal with it because when my mom gave me a lot of affection, usually she was intoxicated. She was under the
Mm.
influence of alcohol, so it didn't feel good. Even as a child, no one needed to tell me that she was drinking. It didn't feel right to me, this energy. So I wanted to repel it. I wanted to push it away when there was too much attention. So then when women, and my partner's not the only one in the past, but when she has given me in the past all this attention, I'm like, no, no, this doesn't feel good. I don't know why it doesn't feel good, but it doesn't feel good. I need to push this away. So when I push it away, that means now I want to escape from it, like I did as a
Mm.
child. If
Mm.
with my parents, my mom is, giving me all this unhealthy affection. Not only do I want to push it away, but I want to run away as well. I want to get the heck out of there. I want to go to somebody else for safety. And it just happened to
Mm.
be in a sexual way. So for me, I also translated sex growing up from the teenage era of myself. I translated sex as a way to escape
Ah.
what I'm feeling within myself, all this stress and overwhelm, not knowing what to do with it. And I also used alcohol as well and drugs to numb
Mm.
myself. So sex was a numbing agent for me.
Mm.
Jumping from one toxic relationship to another was also a numbing agent, just like alcohol was for me and drugs. I
Mm.
just went to these avenues to make myself feel like, oh, I'm complete. Right. So
Mm.
that's essentially why I led into those unhealthy behaviors.
Okay, thank you so much. And Joy, now we are talking about the way we are creating a attachment with our partner, isn't it? You now mentioned that there is this type of attachment. I think is interesting for the for maybe the person is looking this video.
Mhm.
What does it mean really this? What does it mean to create a healthy connection? So a secure attachment with a person. What does it mean to create a avoidant attachment? And what does it mean to create an anxious attachment? Because now you are I mean, you're so generous to share your story. And through your story, you give the opportunity to us and even to myself to understand better because in certain way, I think everybody has something kind of this component, trying to to escape when feel the pressure from the partner emotionally or be anxious about receiving attention. So I think it will be a very good gift for the person who listen to this video. Give us some clarity
Mhm.
about what does it mean to have, for example, an avoidant attachment and how it play and what to do and not to do
Mhm.
based on your experience when you are living this. What is good to do for the partner that is with you? Because now we're
Mhm.
talking about healthy a partnership. So I imagine there are people maybe listen to this video that they can find themselves, they can identify in what you say. So it would be nice to say some kind of strategies or some kind of input of
Mhm.
action they can bring in their relationship to
Mhm.
change this game that
Yeah.
probably is a little bit toxic and creates sufferance at the emotional level.
Mhm.
So talking about avoidant attachment, what we can say, how it works exactly.
Yes, with attachment styles. So there are also people who have secure attachment styles with based on their upbringing. They don't fall into an anxious or avoidant style. Right. So there's really four of them that I've read about. There's the anxious, avoidant, and disorganized is when someone flips between anxious and avoidant,
Yeah.
depending on the partner, which has been
There's
myself
four
in the
types,
past.
So
Yeah.
this chaotic, avoidant, and anxious and secure attachment. This is some how we create connection.
Right, right. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
been different terms. Chaotic and disorganized are two terms that are used for the person that switches between the two.
Mhm.
And then the secure. Yeah. So the idea is to move more into a secure attachment style, not only with myself, but with my partner. And what
Mhm.
that looks like is, well, the key thing is awareness. You have to be aware of what is going on within you. You don't have to completely understand it, but be aware that, this is not right. I'm hurting this person, or I'm hurting myself, or I keep repeating the same pattern over and over with my relationships. Why is this happening? So it's
Mhm.
that why. Why is this happening to me? And
Mhm.
then now looking for the answers, whether it be through therapy, coaching, reading books as well. There's a lot of great resources out there. We're a resource as well. This our podcast. And then just going into these resources and determining why this is happening. And once you understand why it's happening, then you can create change for yourself. Now, something that's very important within a partnership is communication. I still feel certain ways. Now, these like this avoidant feeling, it doesn't
Mhm.
happen as often as it used to, but it still happens. Same thing with the anxious attachment style with myself. That there's an organized we're going between the two. Again,
Yeah.
it's a lot less frequent now, but for me, that's growth right there because it used to happen every day in the beginning of
Wow.
our relationship with Anna. So it's
Wow.
happening every single day for the first, I would
Wow.
say, 2 years, right? Until I decided to go into
It's-
hypnotherapy. Well, about a year and a half, and then that's when I went into hypnotherapy to do this deep
Yeah.
work. And then we didn't
Yeah.
understand what was going on here, right? I was in,
Yeah.
either pulling away and she was kind of trying to get more attention. So
Yeah.
then, yeah, the communication is key.
It's good.
Communicating now, right? It's like, okay, hey, I'm feeling a certain way right now. I know and don't take things personally as well. Don't
Yeah.
think that because the other person or your partner is maybe being a little emotionally distant with you. I used to take that personally. Oh, she's upset with me. I did something wrong. What did I do? It's that ego that's just going in circles, these thought patterns that we attach to. And now
Yeah.
we look at the grand scheme of things, when we look at being pure consciousness, and I'm talking more in a spiritual standpoint,
Yeah.
we are not our thoughts, we are not our emotions, and we're not our bodily sensations.
Yeah.
So lean into the communication, communicating with your partner. Hey, I feel like just need to have some time to myself. So maybe I'm gonna go for a walk for 15 minutes and then I'll come back. Just want to clear my mind. And now Anna knows now not to take things personally as well, because we've both been doing this work together,
Yeah.
side by side.
Yeah.
So now if I need the space, she doesn't say, "Oh, what did I do?" Right? Why is he upset with me?
Wow.
Why does he need space from me before he
Because
took?
the thing that is very interesting, so to just like point this out, when a person is anxious and there is this combo normally, an avoidance stay with an anxious person that have an anxious attachment. So when the avoidant go away because maybe the feeling is overwhelming, the emotional intensity. So why the person is avoiding the other one, in your
Yeah, so
opinion?
this goes back to now I can only speak for myself, but I'm going to
Yeah.
generalize here now again with attachment styles. We
Yeah.
typically look into or we attract people of the opposite sex of our parent. So with my mom, based on her anxious attachment, I have predominantly attracted a lot of women that were anxious attachment. Now,
Mm-hmm.
where does this come from? From me wanting to push or pull or to kind of cling to something or to push it away or resist it.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was the 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 intimacy. I don't know. Well, I'm learning now, but I didn't know before what true healthy intimacy looked like. For me,
Mm-hmm.
it was more about escapism and it was about resistance
Mm-hmm.
because of the opposite sex of my parent, my mom, was the one to give me this uh, overwhelming sense of attention to me. Again,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times she was intoxicated. So it was this unhealthy connection to that. So in
Yeah.
my mind is programmed now that when it gets too much attention, or it was programmed, when it gets too much attention, I need to push that away. I need to be avoidant because
Yeah.
it doesn't feel good. I need to run
Yeah.
away. I need to look for safety because this is not safe from a
Mhm.
child standpoint. I am not safe. I need to get out of here.
Mhm.
So that's why this is this repellent now. But now I understand how
Yeah.
attachments work and I've done the deep work. So instead of like pushing away, those
Yeah.
are the times to communicate and say, oh, I'm feeling a certain way. I'm feeling this in my body right now. Or maybe I'm going to go to the bedroom and I'm going to have 10 minutes to meditate in the bedroom,
Ah,
right?
okay.
So it's about having boundaries as well,
Yeah.
building healthy boundaries around what allows us to feel, I wouldn't say to feel safe, but to give us the space that is necessary to
Yeah.
tune into ourselves instead
Yeah.
of distraction. For me,
Yeah.
distraction was looking into other women. That was my
Ah,
distraction before.
or can
But
be
now
other distractions. So is it so the distraction, what which role plays? So when a person has this of feeling of overwhelming,
Mhm,
can go away or can looking for distraction.
mhm,
And it's a way to
right,
escape from this feeling that is heavy because it's connected to experience that you lived when you was probably a child
yeah,
and you see your parents. So that's just to rephrase what you say. It's so the way is just to escape, and distraction is also another way. Maybe looking the TV or go to make sports in an excessive way, and so the other person feel abandoned, feel rejected, feel so that's what is the feeling, the pain that the other person have, is why it doesn't planning to do something with me, why he just go away, or she's go away, and there is no disconnection. And so that's the other party what feel, and so it develop even more desire to go to catch the other partner, and that doesn't work. It's a super toxic, because this is a very not satisfactory situation, because in love we don't have to gain the attention. The attention should flow spontaneously because it's a pleasure. But to arrive to this place, what we have to do to be aware of our inner reaction and where they come from. So what I catch from what you say, such important thing for us is to understand how was the relationship between the father and the mother, trying to
Mhm.
see if there was this game, and trying to see, analyzing your story in your previous partnership, if some kind of pattern repeat. And then you can act on that when you have the awareness, with the help of probably hypnotherapy, psychologist, or whatever help you to really
Mhm.
reprogramming yourself. And that's the avoidant point of view. And I wonder, how is the anxious point of view? You have experienced both.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
don't want to say luckily, because it's not your word. It's a very sound cynic, but to the purpose of the podcast, to really just give some kind of explication. Of course, when we are living situation, we can really speak more, in a mindful way. So I wonder, from your anxious point of view, what happens and what the person can change to
Mhm.
not tap into this trying to catch the other person.
Yeah. Yeah. So when it comes to the anxious, now I just want to add this as well, because I was reflecting on this a moment ago. My relationships in the past, my partnerships in the past were, most of them, I would say I was the avoidant in a lot of those cases. And then the cases I was anxious. Now, those avoidant relationships, they didn't last maybe a year or so. So they lasted a bit longer than my anxious relationships. Those lasted for only a handful of months, 2 or 3 months at a time, sometimes a
Ah,
lot shorter than that. And in those
okay.
instances, is that I attracted women that were avoidant. So I was always trying to get their attention. For me, it was like love at first sight. And I've
Mm,
heard people reference this in the past, that that doesn't necessarily exist, love at first sight. Because when people talk about, again, I'm going to generalize, when they talk about love at first sight,
yeah.
there's usually something that they're immediately being attracted to, but it's a wound within them. So they have a wound, they have some sort of hurt within them, and then they immediately feel like this connection to somebody else. But in a subconscious level, that there's an energetic connection there of that
Yeah.
person helping you with that wound, or helping you with heal something. And
Mm,
it doesn't always turn out to be very well in the long term. This is why it takes time to sometimes build this intimacy with somebody else. So this
mm,
anxiousness that I experienced in the past, it's about, oh, I want this attention from somebody. It's love at first sight. This person is the one for me. Like, they're the one. I can't tell you how many times I've said this about women. That each time I'm in
mm.
this anxious relationship, I'm like, oh, she's the one. So many.
Ah,
How can all of them be the one? And for me, it didn't truly exist. But
yeah.
there's some energy there it was a very dense energy with them as well, because I was also uh, connecting with a wound within them that they were suffering from, that hasn't been healed. So we're both wounded children inside, inner children, and we're attracting each other. So
Yeah.
that love at first sight got me to, get this attention, wanted to get more and more of it over time. And because they were getting overwhelmed, because in their family dynamic, they got too much attention from probably the sex of the opposite parent. So their father was maybe saying, "Oh, you're such a," as they were growing up, "You're a princess. You're my little girl. You're the one. You're so pretty." And then, but it's coming from the father, and depending how it was relayed to them, maybe it was uncomfortable the way it was relayed to them. And there wasn't a true balance there, because maybe the father was giving more attention to the daughter than he was to the wife, to the mother. Right.
Yeah.
So then she becomes the avoidant growing up. And then, because I'm trying to get more and more, she's distancing herself. And as she's distancing himself, now you mentioned it before. Now I'm feeling abandoned.
Yeah.
No, the one is distancing herself, where she's not giving me so much attention. She's not messaging me back right away.
Yeah.
Where's my WhatsApp? And I messaged her about going out Friday night. She hasn't gotten back to me yet, and it's only Monday evening.
Um,
So it's like, oh, I'm not getting this attention the way I want it. I want the attention all the time because the attention makes me feel loved and worthy. So, but I want more of it because if I don't have it, I feel incomplete. I feel empty. So then giving
um,
this more and more,
more
she's like,
attention,
no, no, no.
energy.
I need to run away from this. This is
Yeah.
not safe for me. I need to escape from it. And then so that's what causes that in most cases, that anxiousness within a man and an avoidant within a woman.
Yeah, so it's the request of such an incredible quantity of attention that the other person can feel suffocated because it's like you can't give this attention. It's like when you talk about this, I feel I have the image of a little baby that is
Mm,
crying and is need this attention for feel
mm,
his or her needs accomplished, but there is not this this figure. And so I imagine the person go in the anxious mood is really wanting to have this attention because there is a big void inside of this. And but what happens that actually the partner would never feel this empty space and will never give the enough attention. It will never be enough, this
mm,
attention. There will be always the request of my attention. So the relationship here, because I want to ask you this because I think about myself and my past experience. And the sensation is that sometimes we have a connection from adult to adult. So there is a dialogue, there is a reciprocal consideration of the needs of the one of the other, and there is empathy. So the capacity to put yourself in the other shoes and just trying to see what is feeling, and so understanding the other person. But when you have these dynamics, the feeling that I have is that you jump in the child part, and the child that has wounds doesn't have this capacity to understand the other person. It's just suffering because it doesn't receive what needs, or the other is just escaping because he's feeling the overwhelming energy. So probably, and then there is the this is transactional psychology. There is the parents level in which the person is giving to the other without pretending anything. So there is three levels probably in which we relate in a relation, in a partnership. So the thing is, when you jump exactly in the child and the other person is also in the child, there is no possibility to create the communication. When you talked before about the importance of communication, when what happened this reactive
mm,
scene, there is no possibility to communicate.
mm,
So that's the thing when you say, I'm just wondering, awareness, what does it mean? Recognize that you are tapping into this part and
mm,
stop. Probably take a time. Don't react to the other. Don't act into the other your suffering, but recognize and have kind of strategy, I can say, of self-love. And maybe
mm,
the other person can also see you that you are in this situation. So don't react
mm,
to this change, to this shift. It's
mm.
not easy, isn't it?
No.
To understand when your partner is shifting, is not in the adult anymore,
Mhm,
is shifting. Probably with this work you have done with hypnotherapy and all the work you have done also, you start to really to be able to shift and to have this two perspective maybe together at the beginning, and then you was able to go in the adult and to understand what does it mean to create intimacy. That's a big word that I would like to dive deeper with you now. So this is a very a good achievement for creating an healthy partnership. Just passing, because you are talking to me about a story of a person who had, because that's your story, your recent story. So you have the capacity with your partner, amazing, to pass from a toxic situation to a healthy situation. Sometimes it's not possible, isn't it? Sometimes
mhm,
when you have this toxic relationship, the easiest way is to say, oh my gosh, with this person, I just understand I have to work on myself, but there is no way together to really grow through
mhm,
this incredible pain that we have. But you was able with your partner, because of the choice of the will of both, to work
mhm,
on yourself and to make this shift and then to go in this healthy relationship. And there is a kind of path. And the path, what I understanding, is also about understanding this dynamic, and change the way in which you communicate. And yeah, but this is the huge step.
Yeah.
And I have a question for you. If a person listen to this podcast find in this situation of a toxic relationship, when you have the opportunity to really have the idea to really evolve with the partner, and when is better to leave
Mhm.
the situation in your perspective?
Oh, yeah, and absolutely. From my perspective, it takes two to tango. Both people, if there's something within both people that need to be worked upon, and let's say if they're neither one of them are in a secure attachment, because obviously a secure person will be there for them in the most cases to support their partner. But now we're talking about someone who's neither secure. Then it's a matter of, okay, again, this communication happened. It was an evolution of our partnership. It wasn't in the beginning. Well, I guess that's to your point. It was hard in the beginning to create that communication because first of all, I didn't know how to communicate what I was feeling inside. I was being reactive all the time. That's why I was drinking a lot and I was doing a lot of marijuana.
Yeah.
And I was just doing these things because I didn't know how to communicate. So if I don't know how to express it, I might as well numb it because that's what I learned to do from an early age. So just numbing everything. And then through that process, then just leaving and going into nature as well. So if both people are connecting with their inner child, their wounded inner childs, it's about what does my inner child need right now? What does it want right now? Oh, it wants me to go out into nature. So I'm going to go jump in a car. I'm going to tell my partner I'm going into nature, first of all. And then that's the only pretty much the communication I'm going to have at that point. I need to go into nature and have some alone time. And that's it. And then go into nature, connect with myself, and then and recharge myself as well. That went on for a while before the stronger communication. With anything, communication is a skill, right? And the way to communicate with an intimate partner is also a separate skill on its own. So it's about
Mm,
developing this skill and making it stronger over time. As I say, Rome wasn't built in one day. Neither
yeah,
is
that's important.
true intimate connection.
Yeah, how to
Uh,
communicate in yeah.
yeah, yeah. And then so it's about doing what our inner child needs in that moment. Maybe it's finger painting. I've done that once before as well. Maybe it's just going out and connecting with a tree, for example, like or going for a swim in the ocean.
Mm,
Do ask yourself when you're when a child and connect with yourself, what is it that I'm needing right now? What is my want right now? What was unmet when I was growing up that I can now do for my inner child? And
yeah,
also know that the other person, if they're in their inner wounded child, they're not at fault. They're doing the best they can as well with what they know and what they've gone through. They have their own life experiences. And now it's about me not taking things personally. That's the hard part, not to take things personally. Because if
mm,
they act a certain way, behave a certain way, then it's like, oh, like again, what I mentioned before, what did I do? Or she's
yeah,
always getting upset when I say this or do this. I can never win. I'm just so tired of all this. That's taking things personally. That's living in ego. So now,
yeah.
now we're talking about to be truly intimate with your partner is living from an egoless place within your mind, not even your mind, within consciousness itself.
And I want to just, I don't want to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
before to go away, there is a book that I don't know if you read, is amazing. Is about the four agreement of Miguel
Yeah.
Ruiz. Probably you know this book. I think
Yeah.
it's amazing. It's the four simple rules of the agreement that it says that the reality that we live is based on our agreement with reality. So when we change this agreement, we change our life and our
Mm,
emotional life. And one of these agreement is don't take things personally. Such incredible challenge,
mhm,
especially when you are in a partnership. It seems the partnership is the best place when you are pushing all the buttons to really evolve, isn't it? It's
yeah.
like the partner is really there. It's like the big teacher in a
Mhm.
way. And yeah, so I like what you say. The three things you says. First of all, recognize the need of your child when you feel this reaction, even is in anxious attachment or in avoidant attachment. Second is about communicate to the partner in a good way while you're living in order to avoid to generate other sufferings in the relationship. And third thing is about don't take things personally. So if the
Mm,
person wants to take some time, he's not rejecting you, but it's because has his own child to really take care, and both you have to take care of your child. So it's very important. I think we are building the road to how to create healthy a
mm,
partnership just with the dialogues. I just want to highlight what you say because it's so precious. And I really want to ask you this, and probably for the first episode, I think we share quite enough material to reflect on with our incredible, lovely audience. And the last point I think is very interesting to explore in your opinion, and even myself, we can share together. What does it mean for you to create a super good intimacy with your
mm.
partner? How you build up this if you don't have it spontaneously?
Yeah. I mean, it can work into being spontaneous. For me, exploring the tantra world, and I'm talking about tantra in a way of just being in a monogamous relationship or monogamous partnership. And these tantra principles, so I've actually, my hypnotherapist was studying tantra to be a tantric
Wow.
practitioner. So at the end of my hypnotherapy session, she gave myself and my partner, so we did it online, case studies with tantric sessions.
Wow, it sounds amazing. You start from
Oh,
yourself and you discover the Hypnotherapist was the Tantra teacher.
this
Sometimes
is what I
the
mean.
universe facilitate us when we want really to evolve, isn't it? There is a kind of participation of the universe. Says, yes, these two guys want to go in a better place. Let's help them with the good and right people in the right situation, isn't it? I love that. I love your story. Your story is fulfilling my heart of joy when it comes to this. It's always
Thank
like
you very much.
give me optimism, in this difficult word. Yeah.
Yeah,
So you
thank you. I'm
just said
getting chills all over
tantra.
my body as you're saying that, because
Yeah.
there's another a quote here, when the student is ready to teach her peers.
Yeah,
Uh,
I
And that's essentially what
know.
what has happened. And with the hypnotherapy, then this tantra came into our life. And then we started exploring tantra. And tantra is really like the union between two bodies, right? Like the two souls within two bodies, and to create a union between them. And now physicality is no longer a factor in it, right? Because whereas we're programmed with the magazines out there, and basically what beauty is supposed to be. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but if we look at mainstream social media and media outlets, they portray beauty to be a certain way, right?
Mhm.
And now it's a matter of deprogram from all of that, because all our bodies are going to change. My body's changed a lot since I was in my 20s, and I'm going to be 42
Yeah.
soon. My partner as well. She's changed when she was a teenager into where she's at now. So our bodies will change over time. That's just a natural progression of things. What matters the most is the inner essence within ourselves, that beautiful essence or spirit or Shakti. There's a lot of different terms for it. And it's about creating a connection with this other person on an intimate level. So that means there's a lot of body exploration. When I say body exploration, I'm talking about just physical touch. Because I thought intimacy always had to lead to sex or some sort of intercourse, and it does not. Actually, from what I learned from my tantric practitioner, it does not need to lead to that. Being intimate in general is just connecting with your partner in a
Mhm.
very beautiful way. So that could just be caressing each other's faces, eye gazing, touching each other's arms. You don't even have to take clothes off if you don't want. You don't have to. Intimacy doesn't mean you have to be naked, right? This is
Yeah.
what we're taught from mainstream, but it does not have to be this way. And then if it leads to sexual intercourse, okay, then so be it. But there's no plan. You go
Mhm.
into it with like, okay, I'm going to be intimate with my partner now, and you just see where it goes. There's no end goal. And from a man standpoint, that does not mean if you have intercourse or sex that you need to ejaculate as well. That's something
Mhm.
that's just, I feel like, very unhealthy. That's taught to us that we have to have this goal and be goal oriented.
Yeah.
For women, it's more about feeling loved. You can correct me if I'm mistaken, but it's about feeling
Yeah.
love and connection through
Yeah. Yeah.
intimacy. Whereas a
Absolutely.
man,
Yeah.
I'm generalizing, but from a man, it's about the this goal I need to achieve. It's very this achievement, right? This accomplishment. Oh, I came. Yeah, I'm a man. You know, I'm conquering the world, right? I'm
Mhm.
repopulating the world, and
Yeah.
that's like the male brain comes from, and all the things that's put into it over the years.
So
So
I
it's
mean, yeah,
yeah,
I just want to say, when you say about that, of course, I just want to bring some of my point of view, like
yeah,
women.
please.
You talk about Shiva Shakti, isn't it? These energies playing in Tantra. And we want to do an episode, actually, a special episode. So I don't want to spoil too much about this topic because we will have an amazing episode for you, probably at the end of this journey. And we will dive really into sexuality and all these things because it's such important things to talk about. And so we will have the opportunity to also, we can say to the people that we will see that. But just to have some kind of, anticipation in a woman is very important. The not maybe for all the women, but in general, when you talk about the touch is such important. Massage, we
Mm,
say that a woman really sometimes likes this approach that is soft but also can be long, and this is a way we boil like a water. We need time, we need this fire, and the more we receive this touch, this caris, I don't know how to say in English now.
caressing. Yeah, this
Listen,
caressing. Yeah.
it's like we start to tap into our body, to our immense capacity through the skin to perceive all the stimulation. And in this low way, we have the opportunity to feel even more and to really dive deep into the sensation of feeling the other person. I love what you say. Intimacy sometimes is simple, a moment in which we connect. So I want to really reflect with you about this word connect because I think it's something the women look a lot in a relationship, in a partnership, and is if I think about my girlfriends, is one of the things they complain more. They complain they can't connect with their partner, with their husband. This is all emotionally is completely distant. Is looking at the TV. It even doesn't give me this attention. So, but what I ask the woman is a connection doesn't have to be 24 hours, but a connection is a big word. And so it's interesting to really explore what does it mean because we have a mental connection. So when we talk, we can have this incredible possibility to really have a conversation. We feel alignment. Imagine I have a lot of ideas. I want to really I have the enthusiasm to share with you, and you don't understand nothing what I say. So there is a disconnection. So maybe after or before I will feel not understood. That doesn't mean not connected with you from a mental level. So it's interesting to explore that, and I would like to listen also your impression. Then there is emotional connection. So I mean, if it then makes sense for you, intimacy is really connected to connection, to the word connection. So emotional connection, what does it mean? Really feel the other person needs the emotions and resonate and have empathy in a way that is like resonate with what a person is feeling. Sometimes that's what I say. A lot of time women say something, but deep inside the feeling is completely different. That's why a lot of men just get crazy with what does it mean? She said this and then she feel this. And it's very difficult to understand the woman, that's what men say. And the woman expect, but you have to understand me, you have to feel me. So what she said, you have to feel me, you have to feel emotions because the woman is very tapped into the heart. I don't want to make a generalization because, of course, what I'm understanding from you talking is that the man, when doesn't have this kind of stereotype goal to have sex and ejaculate, is really tap into his feminine. So I like the idea that we are dancing with our inner feminine and masculine when we have intimacy and we open us to explore it, and even with our partner. I think about you like a man, he says okay, so we can give this space and time in which touch, and I feel free even myself to feel. So I
Mhm.
wonder, how do you feel that? How do you feel this connect word in intimacy from your point of view?
I would say, yeah, the to feel truly connected is to what's coming to me right now visually is to imagine myself and my partner. We're on this earth floating around space, a bunch around of other planets, other stars, and there is nothing else that exists except that moment between her and I. Time doesn't
Wow.
exist, responsibilities, past, future. nothing exists except that present moment. So to feel truly connected is to be fully present as well. In the past, I used to think about, even while we're being intimate, I'm thinking about, oh, wow, this project is, and I got to work on this. Oh, this business idea came up. I should put it in my notes after we're intimate. It's always like this to-do list that's like, oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, wait a minute, what happened yesterday? That sucked. I didn't enjoy that experience yesterday. And here I am trying to be intimate with my partner.
Yeah.
No, that's no fair to anybody. Well, but
So it's
that's
about,
mhm,
yeah. So I mean, it's like when you're talking, it's about the quality of presence, the quality time. So you say intimacy, we can connect to the quality time. So when I stay with you, I'm completely with you, with all my levels, with my mind, with my emotions, with my body, with my spirit. I really open to you because we can stay together, spend time together. You can see people when partners, no, you go to the restaurant and you see her just, tap into the phone.
yeah.
He also, and you even look in the face, there is no eye connection. There is
Mm,
no pleasure, no enthusiasm, no eros.
mm,
There is a disconnection. Maybe they spend maybe a 1 week together in vacation, but there is no this time spent together. There is no this presence. So the
mm.
question is for you, why happened this for you? Why the partners doesn't tap into this connection and this
Why it's happened to me
quality
as a man?
time, this
Why I was
presence? Yes, what is the reason why, so we can
escapism.
eh?
You said it before, like escapism. For me, it was I used to do the same thing. My partner would come home. I'm watching TV while she's coming home, and I'm trying to stay really focused on the TV show. And she's trying to wants to say hi to me. She's coming home from work, and I know that this is like one of the things she looks forward to when she comes home from work is to see me give me a kiss. And here I am on the TV. Or there's plenty of other examples of me being tuned out of the situation because I'm trying to escape from myself. I'm trying to run away from myself. And it's because of these unmet needs and wants, like having my alone time, for example, right? From feeling suffocated from my mom growing up. So all this still goes back to how we were raised. And these are unmet needs and wants within ourselves. And it takes that awareness to identify these things. And then I realized, like, wow, I'm watching TV and I'm doing these things around my partner when we're, so if I turn off the TV when she comes home, is that going to hurt me by delaying to finish my TV show until tomorrow? No. But I made it such a big deal, like, oh no, I have to stay glued to the TV because I was being avoidant. I didn't want that. I didn't know what intimacy, I didn't know how to deal with healthy intimacy. Well, the only thing I knew is to repel it. So to repel it, well, I'm going to watch TV or I'm going
Yeah,
to drink. And, I haven't had a full drink in over a year now. So, and I haven't smoked weed in about 2 years, 2.5 years.
escape.
Yeah, it's escapism. It's a process. So and then it comes down to if I'm going to be truly intimate and I'm going to be fully present, I need to learn to do this for myself. All right. You can do this with your partner. You can practice with your partner and communicate this. Say, hey, I want to practice being more present with you. And if we're kissing and I'm thinking about a thought comes in, I'm gonna stop kissing and say, you know what, I got a thought, I got distracted. Just give me a few seconds and let's try this again. So,
Yeah,
but that takes time. That's like more of like the advanced stages of that communication and intimacy. But
yeah,
yes, it's about yeah, just having that presence and identifying if you're not being present, then it's the awareness. Why are you glued to the TV? Why are you on social media? Why are you scrolling on your phone during dinner with
and
your partner?
enjoy what I'm just thinking about a man that now I listen, or a woman. I think my sensation is pretty much common in the man world. When you are in this situation, which kind of advice you can give to the men who tap into this sensation of wanting escape? So what they can do and why they should do it, especially because probably this is might feel so good. Why they should change this thing, and how?
Yeah, I would say it starts. The best thing I can offer right now is if you catch yourself in this escapism behavior, then just take a pause and take some deep breaths with yourself. Right? Just try to disconnect from this escapism behavior just for a few, there could be 3 deep breaths in that moment, and then listen in to yourself. Ask yourself internally, why am I doing this? Why am I escaping through TV when my partner is trying to come home and give me a kiss? Right? And it's about this inner dialogue with yourself. And you may not get an answer right away because maybe you're not feeling so connected to your inner essence. But if you do this over time, consistency is also key. You keep doing this every time. That's how you break patterns, is that when the pattern starts occurring, in that moment, you pause, you take 3 to 4 deep breaths, and then start having a dialogue with yourself. But this dialogue is very important. You're not judging yourself. You're not saying, oh, stupid me, I'm watching TV again. I said yesterday I wouldn't do this, and here I am doing it again. Do not judge yourself at all, because that's an inner critic, the ego. Let's
Yeah.
separate from that for a moment here,
Mm.
and let's allow ourselves to say, oh, yeah, I did it again. That's okay. With
Yeah.
love and compassion
But
and kindness, it's okay that it did this again.
yeah.
Why am I doing it though? What did I not get? Or
Yeah.
what was I receiving when I was younger
Yeah.
that didn't feel good? What reminds me of my partner from an early age?
Yeah.
And then once you start having it in a dialogue, you'll take it from there. You asked me a question before that we didn't get to really answer, and that was around, when do you know to walk away from a partnership or stay in it?
Yeah.
Both people are working together. If both people are working together in this, and then you're creating communication together and learning together how to communicate, because if it wasn't for my partner, I wouldn't know how to communicate effectively like the way I do now.
Oh,
It's
wow.
our partnership that really inspired me to want to do
Wow.
better and better for myself over
Yeah.
time, still to this day. And I feel like this will happen. This is a lifelong journey, that
Yeah.
the spiritual growth. And I want to improve on all aspects, not just for her, but for me as well, to make
Yeah.
myself the best human being I could be on this planet for the limited time that I'm here. Now, if
Yeah.
one partner is not willing to play ball with you, if they don't
Yeah.
want to work with you,
Yeah.
then it's not for me to say to walk away from them, but then you have to have a serious conversation with yourself and
Yes.
say, what's the value in this partnership moving forward? What am I going to get from this partnership moving forward? How is this going to enhance me and this person moving forward if they do not want to participate in this partnership? Because then it becomes a relationship. So if they don't want to participate, then you have to make that decision. What feels right? But if you tune into yourself and you
Yeah.
take those nice deep breaths, you're going to identify what feels good for you and then
Yeah.
lean into that.
Yeah. And just have this question because this is very important also, I think. Uh, you say what a man should do when have this sensation of escape.
Mhm.
It's perfect. But what light up the motivation to do that? Because
Mhm.
I think the problem is the problem. The thing is they don't feel the motivation. The person partner can have not this motivation, and with no motivation, we never do anything in our life. So
Mhm.
why this person, the partner, imagine the man in this case, should step in this new way of create intimacy with the partner, which is the benefit that probably he doesn't see,
Mhm.
but is very important. So what can be the motivation for a partner to do that?
For me, it was just being tired of doing the same thing over and over, repeating these patterns with previous partners, and I just wanted to stop. I wanted to learn why I did these things and to break these patterns. So, if my motivation, I would call it more of inspiration, because I feel like motivation comes from a place of lack, but from a
Okay.
place of inspiration.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I want to be better. I'm just tired of it. Now, this could have happened many years ago. It's happening right now in my life in these last handful of years. So I was being tired of repeating things over and over and getting the same results. It's like the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and you expect
Yeah.
different results. I was
Yeah.
doing the same thing over and over and over, and I was expecting something different in a subconscious way, but I was not. I was getting the same thing back and seeing the unhappiness
Yeah.
between myself and my partner, the
Mm-hmm.
distance that we had. We had that honeymoon phase like most relationships have in the first couple of months. But then after that, it went into this toxic place.
Yeah.
And it was like I keep doing this. Like I want it to stop. I'm tired. I'm emotionally exhausted from this,
Mhm.
physically, mentally, spiritually. This is
Yeah.
not my path. And I started reading some books around relationships and attachment. And so is the understanding. I guess the inspiration also came from educating myself, because the
It's
answer didn't just magically fall into my being. Although I think the universe was trying to do that, but I was like, no, 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 resisting with my ego.
uh,
It's also seeking some resources, talking to friends about it. Hey, friend, I'm experiencing this. I would have to say this as well, actually. I've had some key friends in my life who also have guided me along the way. It wasn't just myself and my partner, but I've had some influences from very trusted friends, guy friends,
yes.
gave me book resources, websites. They gave me these
Um,
amazing resources to look into. And then after I started exploring them, I'm like, oh, there's a whole other world out there besides the one that I'm currently dictating to reality. I'm trying to tell reality it should be this way, but actually, it's much bigger than that. I'm
and
so curious now. So now
yeah, yeah,
inspiration led to curiosity, and the curiosity led to the
friendship.
foundation of where we are right now. Yeah, like building that strong foundation throughout the partnership.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the thing I think also when you talk about this expansion, this wanting to really expand and to use your energy, not wasting it in a
Yeah.
sensation of unsatisfaction. Because when you have an unhealthy partnership, it's a very draining energy. It's draining energy. So that's my spirit. So that I ask you, and then I give my point of view. So, in my opinion, to create this healthy partnership is also because you want to use your energy in a more creative way. And you can use even the partnership to expand even more and flourish like a human being, because the partner can become a catalyzer of growth and expansion and satisfaction, or can be a catalyzer of a super depressive life. So at the end, my inspiration is that from your words is that why we should build up. I mean, not we should, but it's very good. It feels good to create a good intimacy. So this is a key word of this episode. Think about with your partner now that you're watching this video. Talk about intimacy, how you can increase your intimacy, how you can get more in feeling when emotionally you feel that you are expanding. What is blocking you to connect emotionally to your partner? And a lot of time when I see the couples that have an unhealthy connection and unhealthy partnership is because they are emotional tired, and there is a lot of past
Mm.
trauma experience repeated in over time, because we are not talking probably about a partnership that starts in 2 months that everything is like super,
Mm.
you know, sexy and super oriented to the passion. Maybe it's a little bit later when the things pop up. And
Yeah.
so what they can do when they feel this kind of exhaustion, this kind of tiredness, to really revamp the flame of
Mm.
a new way of connect for you.
Mhm.
And then I think this is can be the last question for this
Yeah.
episode, because I think we dive so beautifully in so many topics that we have to give time to digest.
Yeah, for sure. I would say you can do one or two things. You can create a date night if you don't already have it, or a what's called in the tantra world a temple night. And date nights are but a dedicated time though. I mean, once a week, or as often as you can. So minimally once a week, you set this time aside for yourself and your partner. A date night is usually something that can be at home. Maybe you're going to watch a movie together. Maybe you have a nice conversation together, or you go out to the movie theaters. So it can be anything along the lines of a date. Now, a temple night, well, that's more of an intimate way to connect with your partner once a week, because a
I
temple
love
night
it.
is something you do at home, no
Yeah.
TV, no, I mean, maybe you can have a little music in the background, but you minimize all your distractions. The mobile phone is off on do not disturb or vibrate. And then now you're exploring each other. You can have a conversation about it beforehand. All right, let's set up this temple night so that we can have this dedicated time to talk about our needs and wants.
Mm.
There's a thing called nonviolent communication. I won't go so deep into it right now, but this is something that I studied. My partner read the book as well by Marshall Rosenberg, and it goes through these 4 steps. These observation. All right, so you state your observation, you state your feelings, your needs, and then you end with a request. through that nonviolent communication and those four important steps that need to be done in that consecutive order, we've been able to identify the needs and wants that are not being met between us. And then in these temple nights, part of the temple night as well,
I
which
love it.
we've evolved it now. So now we have, we're working to go back into these weekly temple nights. And Sunday mornings, we like to make brunch together. And then we have these conversations during brunch about how was this past week for you? Is there anything I did that you didn't like or that offended you? Anything I can do better for you moving forward? What is
Yeah.
the top project, both personally and professionally, for next week? How can
Yeah.
I support you? So and I don't see, this isn't something I've never done in partnerships before,
Oh
is
yeah.
asking, what have I done in this past week that didn't feel good? Now, in the beginning, when we started doing this, there was so many things. Oh, you did, we weren't like arguing with each other, but it was more about, yeah, you did this and it made me feel this way. All right, but again,
Oh,
not taking it personally. Know that we're doing the best we can with what we know. Now, when we ask each other, what have I done this past week that you didn't really like so much? There was nothing anymore because we've worked through a lot of this stuff, a lot of this, I would say
yeah.
stuff, but a lot of this maybe baggage from the past.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we've communicated about this on a weekly basis, whether it be on a Sunday
Wow.
brunch or a temple night or even a date night, right? But
Wow.
have weekly
Love that.
conversations about the past week, how we
Yeah.
right now, and how
Beautiful.
can we move forward the following week
Such a
together and support each other.
Yeah, I mean,
Beautiful.
these two things you said they are so precious. So I really invite you that you're watching this video to take note and to apply this super good exercise that you can apply even from tomorrow with your partner to create a more healthy connection with your partner. Is about create this temple night, this moment in which you really liberate your Aphrodite or your Eros archetype and they just create a fantastic night out of the box and out of your mind and out of the routine. So have this kind of settled time in which you dedicate one to each other with surprise or with no expectation, just for the pleasure of it. Super good name, temple, because love is a temple, as say you too. No? I remember this is a song, I love it. It says love is a temple. So just give this for me it's very deep what you say. This word is not just not coincidental. It means temple, this means it's sacred. You just like give this sacredness in your relationship. There is the days with the the preoccupation, whatever, but then there is this sacred moment in which you and your fabulous Shakti, you like Shiva, you meet in the temple and you make the magic and connect with the universe. That's going to be amazing. But whatever, if it is not the universe, can be a cinema, can be whatever, give fun and recharge the battery of the couple. And then the thing I love it is about the brunch. Is like
Mm.
kind of a creative branch in which you see what was not working, but you are also creating what worked also. I can add this, what worked between us that really love it about you, and so increase what was working instead of just focus on what not working. Because if you, I can see also just focus on what doesn't work sometimes, just bringing this point of view of things that are not celebrating as a success and achievement that we have with our partner. So it's very interesting also to bring this, and I love that. So thank you so much, Joy, for all that you shared. Such a rich episode. If you listen this episode, guy, you just see so many things shared, and especially a big generous opening of Joy of the story you share. So please, if you are watching this, comment below, just subscribe to the channel and give your ideas. We just talk about books also, we talk about many things, but for sure, you have your experience, you have your rituals. Please share it, how you increase your intimacy in your couple. So that can be a place where everybody grow, even us, through your contribution. And then you will find in comments our reference of Joy and Arianna. You will have our website, our social media, and even there will be a fantastic free guide for you to download with amazing gift that we want to give you. So we are so happy to have you, and let's see the next episode in which we will talk about dependency. So thank you so much, Joy, and let's see us in the next in the next step in this journey together. Un
My
beso.
pleasure. Thank you very much, Artie. I appreciate it, and looking forward to moving forward and just sharing this experience with everybody else.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.